Hey, what's going on, Solarpreneurs? We are back with another episode. We're going to be talking about things you can negotiate to help your finances. If you're like me, I didn't know a lot of things can be negotiated, and there's a lot of money saving tips out there. So if you like saving money, if you like maximizing your income, this episode is for you. And we are here, as always, to help you close more deals, generate more leads and referrals, and have a much better time in the solar industry. But when you make your money in solar, you need to know how to keep it. You need to know how to maximize it. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So welcome to the show. If you have not already, please go leave us a review on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you listen to the show. That is all we ask in you coming over to listen today. And I got the idea for this podcast. I've been reading a book, or listening rather, to a book on a Spotify, actually, which that's a little hack right there. If you didn't know Spotify has books, you do not have to go pay Audible for books, because Spotify has pretty much all of them. But this book, it's called "I Will Teach You to Be Rich." It's by I think I'm saying the guy's name right, Ramit Sethi. Indian guy. He's also on Netflix. He's the host of that Netflix show, How to Get Rich. But this book was introduced to me by a friend of mine, John Soriano. We've had him on the podcast. He is one of our leaders at the company, our VP of sales, actually. And he was telling me about a hack he found, which he has the credit cards. Some of you might know this. There's the credit cards that get you all like the flight benefits, the lounges. It's like an Amex Platinum. There's a few other ones like Chase Sapphire Reserve, things like that. And he was telling me about some of the benefits with it. But I'm like, man, I just don't know if I would use that enough to really get the full benefits, because it's like $700 a year you pay to have the benefits. And unless you're traveling a lot, really maximizing it, I don't know if it's worth it. So he told me you can do this and you can actually get the fee waived just by negotiating it. And he's like, these credit card companies, they want you to be their customer because they make money on all these transactions. So it makes sense. If you know how to play your cards, then yeah, you can get them to actually waive these fees and, get the benefits for free essentially. And haven't pulled the trigger on that yet. But it got me thinking, how many things are there out there that we can negotiate, that we can get better deals on, and that we can be maximizing our cash, maximizing our solar money that we didn't know about. He introduced me to that book. So we'll link it. You can check it out. Has a bunch of tips on, things you negotiate, get better deals on. But I'm going to go through a few things that I was able to negotiate down myself and that I feel like would be really useful for our audience. Okay, so we're going to go through a few things here. Some of them maybe you knew, some you didn't know. Would love to hear your suggestions, your comments. If there are other things you guys have negotiated, let's hear them. We all love money hacks. We all love ways to maximize our profits, our income. And with this, it's not to be as cheap as possible, right? I think there's a difference between negotiating and being cheap. So don't be that guy that's just like cheap with everything. I'm from Utah, and people from Utah, they're notorious for like being extremely cheap. I've got buddies out there that's like, they'll send you Venmo requests for, some ridiculous things. It's like, don't be the guy who you buy someone a drink at the gas station for $1 and then you send them a Venmo request for $1. It's like, come on, man. Okay, so let's not be cheap, but let's learn how to negotiate things. In different cultures, you've seen, ironic that it's an Indian guy that wrote this book, because you see in cultures, some of these people, they negotiate everything. Okay, you go to Mexico, some of my Mexican friends, they just negotiate everything. And, I make fun of them, but it's like, at the same time, there's things I'm like, well, I didn't know you could actually ask for a better deal on that. And it surprised me. Okay, so don't be afraid to ask for what you think you deserve, right? Don't be cheap. Don't be afraid to ask for, some negotiation, a better deal. Okay, so here's some things that maybe you knew, maybe you didn't. First of all, did you know that a lot of your subscriptions, they can be negotiated? And most subscriptions that you have, the yearly, I don't know about Netflix and things like that, but most subscriptions, if you pay a yearly amount, it's going to save you a lot of money. Okay. And that one, hopefully quite a few people knew, because most of the time when you sign up for something that's a monthly subscription, a lot of times they have a yearly option that saves you maybe 10-20%. Okay, so there's one thing right off the bat, something you can do today. Go to all your monthly subscriptions. There's an app I use, it's called Bobby, and you can actually track all your monthly subscriptions. I'm sure there's a bunch of apps like it, but it's just so easy to get caught up in all these subscriptions, forget what you're paying for. I know people out there that had 3 Netflix subscriptions, that double signed up for a bunch of different things they didn't even know about. So that's one thing. Make sure you know what you actually signed up for. What are your subscriptions? But then once you know them, can you go to a yearly subscription? If you can, it's going to save you probably 10, 20, maybe even more than that, 30+% to negotiate some of those down, or to do the yearly subscription. Yes, that's one thing. And then, there's quite a few things that have to do with banks. I already mentioned like annual fees on credit cards. Those can be negotiated. Credit line increases. It's good to have some high credit limits. Okay, it's not to say if we have a $50,000 credit limit, $100,000 credit limit, we're going to spend it all, but it gives you some good, freedom if you can increase your credit limits. Okay, another thing is like bank fees. Okay, if you're like me, especially in the past when I wasn't making a lot of money in solar, there's so many times where I would overdraft, and at first I would just pay the fee, didn't do anything. But something I discovered, you can actually waive overdraft fees. Okay, send this to your broke maybe setter or someone that just started in solar. Maybe they're having overdraft fees. You don't need to pay those. You can negotiate those, right? I mean, to a degree, if you're overdrafting all the time, it's probably going to be tough. Okay, and then another thing is your cell phone bill. This was something recent that happened to us. I'm on a family plan, we've got like my parents, a few of my brothers and sisters on a family plan. And that's a hack right there. It saves you a lot of money. Okay, maybe some people make fun of you, but hey, might as well be on a family plan with a lot more people if you can get that down. But recently, my dad, the plan we're on, he's like, our phone bill's getting up there. He was talking to AT&T. We're with T-Mobile. And, AT&T throws out that they could get us the same plans for, I don't know, I think it was $100, $200 cheaper a month. And so my dad, he's about to pull the trigger. But, they had T-Mobile, they had some benefits that we liked, and a couple things that I was like, man, it's going to be a hassle to switch. And so what I told my dad, and I think the book actually talks about this too. So I'm like, hey, why don't you just go to him before you switch? Say, hey, we got this offer to switch, and it's going to be this much per month. We've enjoyed, it's been good with you guys, but if it saves us that much money, then we're going to need to switch. He went and did that, and sure enough, the next day they got our bill down to, I think, pretty much what AT&T was going to get us. So there's a lot of power in doing that, right? It's like, go to a competitor, show them. I mean, we're in sales, right? Anyone that listens to this podcast, you probably have done that. Oh, we can price match. We can get you this. Okay. And there's going to be people out there that work the system. And same thing, we should know how to do that for our own bills. Okay. For, cell phones. It's another thing. There's things like, rent. If you're renting, you can negotiate the monthly rates. You can negotiate maybe pet fees. Another big one is Airbnbs, right? This is something, if you listen to the Melissa Ramiza podcast recently, she talked about this, where if you're planning blitzes, which a lot of us in solar are, you can negotiate Airbnbs. And as an Airbnb, what would you say, super host? Okay, that's what they call the people that have been hosting for a while on Airbnb. I've been doing Airbnb for a while, and I mean, it's super rare that people ask it. But we've had people ask for military discounts, for extended stay discounts. And I'm like, okay, sure. It's not booked. I mean, I'll give it 10, 20% discount. And just majority of people don't know that they can ask discounts for things like that. They think Airbnb's pricing is set in stone. And there's nothing saying that can't be changed. Okay, so just don't be coming to my Airbnb asking for massive discounts. But any other one, hey, doesn't hurt asking, especially if it's somewhere you're going regularly. Melissa mentioned that they blitz in Texas a lot, and it's a lot of similar Airbnbs they're booking. So I'll go to the same people, they'll book them, and then they'll get the discounts for being repeat tenants, being repeat buyers, and then also staying longer. So things like that doesn't hurt to ask. Another thing, medical bills. Did you know that you can negotiate cash pay discounts, right? Especially if you don't have insurance. If you pay cash, then you're always going to get a pretty big discount in that. Prescription, dental, vision care, things like that. Cars. I don't know if I mentioned on the podcast, but I just joined the Tesla club finally. Was driving my Toyota Camry, had 220,000 miles on it, was running that thing to the ground. But I'm like, hey, it's still working fine, burned some oil, but it's still going fine. But then, had a friend, a coworker, shout out to my guy, Will Brindley. He's been on the podcast too, but he introduced me to his buddy that sells used Teslas. We did the math. He has the Teslas that come with a free supercharging. And so I'm like, you know what? With what I'm paying in gas and maintenance for my old Camry, it's probably $500-600 a month by the time you factor in gas, do a lot of driving, oil changes, had to do some little bit bigger repairs on it this year. Did the math and got a Tesla, free supercharging. It's a used 2016 Model S, and just financed it, didn't put anything down. I'm paying, I think, $415 a month. So even financing, I think the rate I got was like 7.5%. So not even a great rate. But even doing that, it's like saving money monthly just by doing that. So, hey, if you want to join the Tesla Club, hit me up. I can intro you to the guy who hooked me up. But, just think logically. It's like there's so many different things, money hacks, ways we can save money, ways we can maximize our money. And a lot of us aren't doing it. So maybe it's something like that. And yeah, another one that's came up recently is just, everyday life. Recently, it's one of those Aura rings, I think is how you say it. Those health tracking rings. I had lost it, right? And so, I'm just like, well, thing's gone. It was frustrating because it was connected to Bluetooth and it was somewhere in our room, but just could not find it anywhere. So still don't know where it is. But after I lost it, a few weeks after I lost it, I see a charge on my credit card I think they do like a $70 yearly subscription to access all the health data. It's just kind of annoying. It's like I already paid for the ring. It's annoying how all these companies want to do the subscription after you buy it. So I saw this charge and then I call up Aura Ring. I'm like, hey, I got a charge and I don't even have access to the ring. I lost it. And they gave me a hard time. They're like, oh, we see that your data was tracked a few weeks ago. It's being used. And so, yeah, we're not going to refund you that. It's being used. And so, I'm like fighting them on it. I'm like, look, it makes no sense. I'm not going to pay for something. It's $70. So it wasn't a massive deal, but I'm like, $70. I mean, I don't want to pay $70 for a product or service I can't even use. And I'm like, and it was just through chat. It wasn't even on the phone. They just have like a chat feature. It came to the point I'm like, look, can you please talk to a manager? Like, I'd love to use you guys in the future, but I don't want to have the experience where I'm being charged for something, and I'm happy to recommend you guys. But it's like, doesn't make sense paying for something. So please talk to a manager, see what you can do. If you guys want to send me another ring, then great. I'll continue using it. But if not, then it's like, I'm not going to pay for something. And I'm not going to recommend to my friends, family, if you guys can't make this work. So, maybe I threatened them a little bit. It wasn't like rude. I'm just like, hey, look, Like, I shouldn't be charged this. And so they went and talked to a manager, had to wait like 5 minutes, but got a message after 5 minutes, said, hey, you know what? We talked to a manager and we can see that you've been a good customer. We're going to give you 3 months of free service and we're going to send you a new ring. So I'm like, okay. I mean, these rings, I think they're like $200-$300. So was able, yeah, just something where, you ask, you give them the reasons why, tell them you're a loyal customer, and you'd be surprised what you can get. And what's cool about this book that I mentioned at the beginning, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, is he has a lot of like scripts on exactly how you can kind of negotiate some of these things down. And we're all in sales, so it's like we should already know how to do a lot of this stuff. But if you want to learn more, go check out the book. And, there's just tons of things. Just think like, how can if it's something someone's selling online, you might be able to negotiate. Okay. You can go to places like Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist. There's always some negotiations to be made. Don't get out of control. Sometimes it can just be like, I get annoyed too. I've sold stuff on like Facebook Marketplace. Some people can come out with like ridiculous offers. So don't be that annoying guy who's trying to get just absolute freebies and everything. Okay. I've probably been that sometimes. But yeah, just think, how can I negotiate? How can I be smart with my money? Okay, and I know it's not directly a solar topic today, but it's about, we all should be professionals with our finances. Okay, and it starts with being smart with your money. Okay, and a way you can do that is know how to negotiate things. So I hope this was something that interests you today. Had a few, personal experiences lately, as you've heard. So yeah, just kind of an interesting topic thought I'd throw out. Hopefully it helps somebody. Okay, and speaking of helping people, we have had some phenomenal guests on lately, and love the recommendations I've gotten from a few of you on Instagram, email, Facebook. So love the suggestions for topics and guests. Please keep them coming, and I promise you we'll be back at it, delivering quality content and dropping bombs every Tuesday and Friday. As much as possible. So thank you for being a listener of the show. Go crush it this week. Get some deals. Grow your solar business. I love you, and we'll see you on the next one.